Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Listing Launchpad Director's Cut. Today, we have a very, very special property. We have a very, very special person because I love I love this guy to death. Like the stuff that I have been learning from him, just not just as a real estate agent, but just as a person, it's been amazing. And I am so honored to be able to do this with him. And by the way, I don't think I've ever told this to anybody, but it's actually speaking with him that I got the idea for the whole director's cut thing because I was talking to him about the last listing that we worked on together, and he just kind of like told me a story, and I'm like, you know what a great idea if we can get that story like told like behind the scenes. So he's sort of responsible for like me coming up with this entire concept. So I'm really excited. Like I know I'm keeping this like super like mystical. You guys don't even know like who the person is yet. But yeah, I mean that's just kind of how I roll. But without further ado, before I bring him on, you guys all know I have to give you this disclosure. All information discussed on this video is indeed for entertainment purposes only. All reasonable efforts have been made to ensure the accuracy of the content of this video of the time of preparation. Information presented is believed to be reliable, but is subject to change at any time and without notice. So if you are interested, which I promise you are going to be interested in seeing this house, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you get all the information. This is for entertainment. This is for us to kind of give you a little bit more extra thing, just to add on top of everything. So, without a further ado, I am going to bring on Mr. Christopher Goff. He is a veteran of the veteran. And when I first met him, I was just like, "How do you do all this?" It is incredible. Like he's just everywhere at all times. And I mean it literally because sometimes he's in Seattle, sometimes he's in Florida. But this listing happens to be in Seattle, 346 Northwest 80th Street, Seattle, Washington, 98117, MLS number 2212549. And here is Mr. Christopher. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you? How are you, Jay?
Uh, that's I mean, I'm I don't think I told you this, but literally this idea came from that last listing that we did,
The one in
and
Boston.
you remember telling you like, yep, that I literally just like came up with it as I was talking to you because I'm just like, man, like there's so much story to be told behind
Yeah.
a house,
You had a
and
sparkle in your
what a
eye.
great
And
idea.
you have these
I
great questions, Jay. You're incredible.
I
I wish more people
I
knew
know.
about
So
you, Jay. I'm an advocate for you, my friend. Seriously, I want the world to know that you can change their life by helping them change their business because people get stuck in these ruts. They get stuck in the ceiling and they just realize this is as far as I'm going to go in my career. And the thing is you're doing a job that you can do right out of high school. And some people go through 9 years of college and end up becoming real estate brokers. You help them achieve what they should acquire in their life. Their ability to open up is because of what you do. You ask the right questions, and more people should do that in our lives. So I gave you a key, and you opened the door, man. It's motivation, dedication, and persistence. That's what I love about you, man.
Well, I sure do. I sure do appreciate that. But before we jump into the listing, though, like, can we get a quick rundown of like, who you are, your decorated career in real estate, just like like a 2 minute version.
I'll break it down quickly. Licensed in Washington State, California, and Florida. I was going to continue going, but I wanted to work the coastlines. I'm a water baby. I love working in states where people want to be. And obviously, who doesn't want to be in Washington? When Washington is beautiful on a sunny day, it is one of the most glorious places on the planet. And I've been around the planet. Florida, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, most of the houses in Florida are on the water. And then California, obviously, California is California. You just can't really go wrong by being a broker there. So that's me. I've been doing this just going on 30 years now. When I got into this business, I was actually told by a high level businessman when I was 14 and I was going through Running Start. He said, you know what, you're going to make a great real estate broker and or a motivational speaker and or just a business owner. And I've turned out to be all three. And so that is
You're
me.
kind of doing all three of them simultaneously
I
right
know,
now.
right? Listen to the people that are smarter than you and wiser than you and always ask the questions, what would you do differently? And that's what I've been doing my entire life. And I've owned 18 real estate companies. I've had over 3,000 real estate brokers underneath me. I've educated, motivated clients, business owners, real estate brokers for the last 30 years. And I've loved every single minute of it.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know what? We're gonna have like a whole entire separate episode of something special coming up. We'll be able to talk more about you. But let's
Fantastic.
jump right into this listing.
Yeah.
So 346 Northwest 80th Street. Like, tell us what's going on here.
Well, this is a good friend of mine. And, family matters have pushed him into a different city. And it was either rent this house out or, sell it. And now I'm always a proponent of keeping an investment. I mean, the first thing I'll tell any of my clients that end up being my customers, 99% of them become my friends, is keep a rental. Keep something as that opportunity for that additional income. This particular home is going to benefit him because, one, rentals in Seattle, it's a little bit of a quandary right now. You just don't know where all these laws are going. You got a lot of different elements of people, certain types of groups that can come in and homestead in your home. And, and I'm not going to focus on the bad because you should really always focus on the positive, but be realistic in the expectations of what you should expect in certain homes in certain areas. This particular home, great home, 346. He bought it 2012. So he's owned it. It was his first home. And he did a great job upstairs. He modified it a little bit. He's 6'4", 230 pounds. The dude's a linebacker. And so when you get into these 1907 houses, the ceilings tend to be a little shorter. So he did what any big guy would do. He increased the ceilings, modified it a little bit, added new windows, insulation. So the upstairs is almost completely updated and modified. Short of the deck that comes off of one of the bedrooms, he's enhanced the closets and made them bigger, and really did a good job just making it more of a good feeling home. He even updated the windows throughout about 80% of this house. And downstairs, he left ornate. It already has 9.5-foot ceilings, so he loved that about this house. It's got the 1907 fir floors. Those things are great. You refinish those, and they are just beautiful. So you can see the rusticness of this home. Some of these areas need painting. Some of the boards need to be replaced. But all in all, if you had a contractor come into this home, I've done the calculations already, and I've already had 3 great people come out to give me some bids on certain elements. You can have a contractor and his crew come in for maybe 100. If you hired a great guy and a crew and try to shave some of the costs back, you could get all this work done for about 80. And that's a good solid number to put into a home that we're going to be listing live at $775,000. And it has just all of the elements of a home that'll be worth 1.1 when it's done. It's got a 1,000 square foot basement down below that has a Rinnai tankless system. It's a gas furnace that's 8 years old. Big, as you're looking right here, it's big, kind of a big, beautiful old Craftsman country porch. I mean, that's the kind of porch on a beautiful home on 80th Street there in the Greenwood Finney area, just south of Green Lake, that you can sit on. You can talk to some guests with, and you guys can just then go for a meandering walk and go to any kind of a bar or a restaurant or go to the park or the zoo just down the road and really just enjoy the atmosphere of being in a place where you can just walk home at the end of the day. And
I could totally picture myself like a little bit of either like a little rocking chair or get a little like outdoor furniture, and you're sipping a cup of coffee or whatever, and you're right that you can literally just like see a neighbor walking by and join them on a walk. I mean, that neighborhood is very walkable.
Isn't that great? I mean, while I'm out there and you were taking photos of the property, obviously everybody, if you haven't had Jay, if you're a real estate agent or broker, talk to Jay. And I'm plugging you, Jay, just because the talent that you've done on being able to take great photos, amazing videos, incredible aerial footage, and then being able to virtually stage homes. As you see, this one's empty. We're going to have these photos virtually staged. It's short of putting furniture in a home like this, but on a home like this, when you price it right and you virtually stage it, you give the opportunity of that perception. I'll get probably 5 or 6 offers on this over the weekend. And you know me, Jay, I sell my houses in hours, not days. And so when you do things right, you get great results. And you're right. I mean, having a country, kind of a nice, beautiful rocking chair on that front porch. And again, just imagine you and your family going for walks. Like you said, every time I've been into this house, it's nothing but people walking their dogs and jogging up and down the street. That's indicative of someone who believes that the area is safe It's easy to live in.
Right.
You don't have to worry about it. So the negative connotation of what I mentioned earlier about the renters, don't get a bad feeling. Just know that
Right.
everywhere you live, you have to understand the good and bad, the pros and cons. This house is a step above what we would
Right.
consider a flipper. This is not a flipper home. You could easily buy it as a flipper, but there's not a ton of meat on this bone. So again, say you buy it, I'm going to put it on for say 775. I could receive multiple offers, and that could go into the eights. If you hypothetically bought this, and we'll say just figuratively say the mid eights, and you turn and you say, okay, it's worth 1.1. Well, that's 300,000. I just mentioned you could put 100 into it. So with regards to all of that attributes, look at this as a home that a home run for most investors. If they can make 100,000 and keep their crew going, this this is a good flip. But I would say this is great for any type of a buyer or a buyer situation where it could be any kind of a partner that you bring in your life, and you have just you, or whether you look into a kind of a family situation and you're growing in your life. This has got 4 bedrooms. It's got 2 full bathrooms. It's got a big, beautiful kitchen that can be modified and adapted to any situation. It's got a gorgeous dining room. And remember, these ceilings are 10 foot tall almost. A stunning living room. And again, these floors, as you see, just these walls are filled with the heartbeat of what this house has been through for over 100 plus years. And, you just look at this, and some things you'll want to change and some things you won't. It just.
I gotta be honest. Like I have this selfish sort of wish that I know a whole bunch of investors and all those guys are gonna jump on this, but I just have this hope that like it will be a family that will come in and really turn it into like their own.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it was like especially when I went upstairs, like I was just like, whoa, like it kind of. I wasn't expecting it to be like that nice, because you had mentioned to me like, oh, this might be like an investor type of thing. So I was totally picturing like that last house we did, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is not a tear down. Like this is totally like doable.
100%. And again, people get caught up. You're right, and the way you saw that and just described that is the way people should when they hear a fixer. They think, okay, I've got to really put a lot of money, and this could just be more valuable as a lot in building a brand new home. And if you don't know the pros and cons, speak to someone like myself. And Jay, you're an accomplished real estate broker as well. Speak to Jay. Having that ability to speak with somebody who is adaptable and understanding of the marketplace. There's going to be opportunities in homes like this where the pros and cons of a good flip versus buying a brand new home, and some of the logistical opportunities are just right there in your face. Brand new home, everything's new, but you're picking somebody that someone else chose as far as a lot. This lot here is this beautiful home in Seattle with a yard that goes around the entire thing, a 2-car carport that could easily be a garage. Just a beautiful location. You can't exactly go find brand new homes on this street that are worth less than 1.6, 1.7. A brand new home would probably cost you close to $2 million. That is this size, 2,800 square foot, including the basement. So, those are the pros and cons. Con is you're looking at the deck here. Yeah, we got to replace some boards on this deck, but the underlayment of the CPL or the decking, this is pressure treated wood, so APCL. The underlayment of this deck, the infrastructure of this house. Look at these beams. These are going to be there for as long as we're alive.
I think this basement is like the basement. I think for me, it's the hidden gem. I have so many ideas.
What would
you can do so many things down there.
Yeah.
I would completely redo my studio, right? Like my virtual studio. I would take yep, absolutely. And I would do a couple of sound panels, but I would have so much fun in that space.
Oh, man.
I was so jealous.
To me, this is a media room. This is a media room, a great place for an additional office. And honestly, this down here in a couple of these areas, though the ceilings may be only 7.5 feet, you could still put, you can frame in a separate guest room. Something just for that extra guest, that extra, hey, someone, they got to stay over. They've had a little bit too much to drink, and we got a place for you to stay. Even though we got all these extra bedrooms, we've got a place down here. So, yeah, I mean, look, you got 1,000 square feet down here. You could be very, very creative. And, really, what constitutes finished? Well, you put down some carpet, throw up some drywall, and you got a finished room down there. You don't have to use the entire 1,000 square feet. Anything that's low, build a wall. and that wall is going to be that low
Right.
spot. Build a hallway. Get creative. See through walls. That's what most people don't have, Jay. One, they overcomplicate life, and two, they don't have the ability to see the imagination of the possibilities. And that's okay. It really is fine. We are all different people. We're like wine in a bottle. We're all different. We all have different flavors. But sometimes it takes somebody to describe to you what that wine will pair well with. So as I'm walking buyers through a home, particularly on this one, say if I'm going to be doing an open house on it this weekend, as buyers are coming through, I'm not just going to say, hey, what do you think? I'm going to say, can you imagine if? What if you thought about doing something like this? If you pulled back and just did it in connectivity, you don't have to remodel the entire house, but just do it as things come. Do a little bit this spring, a little bit this winter. Take time to do things and do them in an ornate fashion, and just build this up. Build this to where in 3 years you're done with the full updating of this home, and it's worth 1.3, 1.4. And go ahead, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, my friend. Like if I could sort of like do this whole life thing like over,
yeah,
I would. And let's say I'm a newly married, and it's just Esther and I.
Yeah.
Like I would say, okay, this is gonna be our 2-year project, and because you could. I mean, it's not the quote unquote move-in ready, but if you wanted to, you can start living there.
Oh, yeah.
And then as you're doing it, like you're literally putting in sweat equity and building the equity in your house.
100%. 100%. Keep in mind, the owner lived there with a renter. This home is livable.
Right.
Certain areas need to be maybe a little more certainly remodeled or updated a little quicker. But up to that point, you can actually enjoy the potential that this home is going to offer you. And like you said, there's somebody for everything. And there's everything for somebody. And you just need to take the time in the initiative to release the fear and really encapsulate the possibilities of what you can do in a home like this, and make it your own. Put your own fingerprint on it. And that's the wonderful thing about a home like this versus say the one I sold in Bothell. That one is that was a little more rough. That one was older. Everything about that home needed to be touched, and things about that home just weren't cognitive to today's living.
Right.
This one is.
Right.
And we're speaking about a great property here that is 1,930 square foot, completely finished, with a little bit of work and some elbow grease, and just show some love. And honestly, just a few parties with some friends and some beer and pizza, this place can come along. Some new fence panels and some new boards, and just a little bit of.
And you have front lawn, yard to the either side of the house. You got backyard, you got carport. I mean, you have everything. Like you said, it just needs some love.
Absolutely. Look at this. This guy used to play frisbee golf. He would go back by the road there in 80th, and he had a couple little frisbee golf, disc golf. I don't know what you call them, goals,
nice.
In the backyard. And
I think it's disc golf.
Look
Yeah.
at his backyard for those with young ones or pets. Look at this place. This place is, I mean, and then you've got a little on the rough side, but most people in Seattle don't have a place to park. Look at this. This is alley access to a 2-car carport. Now, the carport is already framed in and sided on all 3 sides and a roof. A little extra work on the roof, sided in, throw in a garage door, and you got yourself a 2-car garage.
Yep.
In Seattle, on your own private alley. Come on.
Man, someone's gonna get. I think someone's gonna get really lucky with this. It's like it's your opportunity to really. I mean, especially my personal preference. Like, I don't do well with the Seattle kind of crowded.
Right.
I'm more like Snohomish. Lots of parking.
Yeah.
But there are people that really love that lifestyle, and man, if you've been searching like in that neighborhood, and you don't mind giving some love to the house, like this is the one.
I completely agree, and the owner feels the same way. He really loves this home. He really hopes it goes to a great buyer or buyers that just see the potential and what this house can be for them. And like I said, listen to the walls, man. A home like this is going to tell you everything that you need to know about what it takes to take care of it and what it can do for you to create other memories.
Right. So tell us what's going on with the open house. Give us some information on what's going on with the open house.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do the open house. I'm going to try to get out I'm going to list this home on Friday. I'm going to try to get out on Saturday and Sunday. And if I can, doing a nighttime open house it's just monstrous to a home like this, and for people that want to try to get in a little bit sooner. On this particular home, the owner is going to step out of state just a little bit. He's got a few things he needs to tackle with some family. So we're looking to put it on Friday and take highest and best offer on Tuesday, allowing people to take their time, breathe, get out and take a look at this home, and get an understanding of what they're willing to do and what this house can do for them in the future. So, that way they can come in with their best offer, and I can present that on Tuesday in the afternoon or early evening. So that's the point. Is Saturday, Sunday,
Absolutely.
I'll have it open for everybody that wants to drive by.
All right, sounds good. Well, Saturday, Sunday, I mean, I would say, look, even if you're not in the market, like if you're just, going to the area for whatever, like stop by, say hello.
Absolutely. You bet. It's a great
So
house.
425-210-1025 is your number, own in 30 days at gmail.com. Like if you have any questions, reach out to Christopher. And I have a funny feeling there's going to be a couple of offers coming in on this thing. Like what's your prediction if I say you gotta give me like a number?
I love it. I'm going to say that I believe that I'm going to see somewhere between 850 and 875.
Oh, wow.
This is why I started it. If I just went up that high and said, this is where I'm at, bring me your offer. I don't give the people that say, you know what, I can qualify for 9, but I want to be in the 775 range for comfortability. But in a home like this where, 60, 70% of the home is livable and easy, and you just got to slowly really kind of put your touches on it. I want to give them the opportunity to say, you know what, I can shave off what I thought I would have to put in a fixer, and I can buy this, and I can actually make this home because I know the equity in the future is worth it. I'm willing to go up a little bit more. So I want to bring those people out of the shadows and give them the opportunity to really, really have the ability to stand there and say, I can do this, I can make this happen, I want this home. This is what I'm willing to do it. So that's why I'm coming down, and it's obviously strategy. I'm representing the seller in a way where if I allow buyers to tell me what they believe it's worth, which is how homes sell, right? We can only sell what a buyer is willing to pay. And so if we put it up and I get something lower, I'm going to take all of that feedback to the seller. But I've been doing this for shy of 30 years. I know what to expect, and I can understand what buyers are looking for, and I know what to really, really, really tag on. And so that's where I believe that I've done a really great job putting this where it needs to be so buyers can tell me what they want to pay for it.
I love it. All right, folks, 346 Northwest 80th Street in Seattle, 98117, MLS 221-2549. Christopher, thank you so much for your time. I know you have like so much going on, trying to be, everywhere at all times. But I really appreciate it. And like I said earlier, there's something special coming, and we're gonna get to learn more about you, my friend. And I am super excited for that. So thank you so much. Best of luck during the open house. And I'm gonna come back and see how we did, versus the prediction. So maybe we can talk about that at another day.
Keep spreading the love, brother. I love you, man. Talk to you soon.
Awesome. You got it.
Take care, Jay.